PC 20-08643.
I had sent you guys out to try to reach an agreement as to a date for the receivership and hearing. So what did you guys come up with?
Yes, Your Honor. We have agreed to a date of October the 20th. The court has 30 minutes in which we're just going to have argument. Everything as far as evidence will have been submitted prior to that. Counsel for the movants on the application, that being Mr. Reimer and myself, will have submitted any evidence and any briefing by October 6th. At that time, we will also have submitted any objections to the evidence of the respondent. On October the 2nd, counsel for Southfield will have submitted any objections they have to evidence of the movement. And then by the 14th of October, counsel for the respondent will have filed any additional briefing or evidence that they have. And then counsel for respondents have entered an agreement with myself as to Exhibit I in our application that we can agree as to authenticity of Exhibit I attached to our application, because that was the one exhibit in which I did need a live witness to prove authenticity. So unless Ms. Shigaris corrects me, I think that is all of the agreements that we've reached in the breakout room.
That's right. I'll make one caveat, and I'm sure Ms. Pettit and I will be able to work through this if something changes. But my understanding of the purpose of the supplement, Your Honor, that the movements intend to file would be to supplement the record of anything that has happened since the application was filed back in April, anything new, as well as any additional affidavits that they need to prove up exhibits that are already in the record. Obviously, if the scope of their supplement is something larger than that, we would need to work through it. But that's my understanding from Ms. Pettit as to what they need. And otherwise, what she stated is accurate.
One other issue that I'd like you guys to talk about is so I've mentioned to you guys that I've suggested Mr. Buchanan. My impression is Ms. Shigaris her office always had a good relationship with Mr. Buchanan, but if there is any type of objection to Mr. Buchanan, if I appoint a receiver, I've made it been very transparent that that's who I intend to appoint. If anyone has an objection, I'd like to know 7 days in advance of this hearing so that I can find a different receiver and kind of brief what the objection would be. I don't know of any. I think before everybody said, and again, that was before the consolidation, so there's some new parties involved. But if anyone has an objection, please let me know so that just in case I can get another receiver if there's a valid objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I will note that Ms. Pettit and I over the weekend discussed, obviously, our position is we object to the appointment of a receiver. But if a receiver is appointed, particularly both of us have had experience with Mr. Buchanan. Obviously, we respect him and he does a great job. Whether he would be the right person for these cases, and we've discussed some other names where we hope that if there is an objection, we would hope to be able to present by agreement someone else subject to our objection of any receiver being appointed.
Is that correct, Ms. Pettit?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Reimer?
That all makes sense to us, Your Honor. But the only caveats on my side are that I intend to file an affidavit from my client, which we haven't filed any evidence yet, so I don't want to be limited in the affidavit. And we support Mr. Buchanan being appointed for this matter.
So go ahead, Ms. Pettit or Mr. Reimer, go ahead by the I guess or Thursday at 5 o'clock prior to the hearing date. If you could get me deliver a brief book that includes all of the briefing for both sides so that I can read it. I'll come in that Friday and then read it over the weekend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then if there's also an objection, include the objection in there and kind of what everyone's, just so I kind of know what's going on.
Yep. Yes, Your
All right, guys, thank you. You guys be safe. We have a very
complicated
and delicate hearing right now, so we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. Do any of you guys object to being released, or does anyone want to sit in during the pre-vote?
No, thank you. But thank you, Your Honor, for accommodating our schedule. And, you know, all counsel has worked very professionally together. And I think we've got a good fit for us now. We appreciate you.
Fantastic. I'm glad you guys were able to work it out.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Judge.
Ms. Scott appears to have left. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream.